All right, welcome back. Today is day nine. Day nine out of 10. Publish your book on Amazon 10-day challenge. We're getting ready to focus on book covers tonight. All right, so get your pen, paper, get ready to take notes. All right, we've already done the welcome. We already learned about me, your host. We've gone over the table of contents. We've done everything on this table of contents except for book covers, launching, and then next steps. So we're going to focus specifically on book covers. We're going to talk about launching, and then we're going to talk about next steps of what to do after you have your book cover done. And you've already put your book on Amazon. We've even gone through how to put an ebook on Amazon, how to put a paperback book on Amazon. And so tonight we're going to focus on what to do with your cover. All right. Expectations. Take notes, have fun, ask questions, complete your homework on time. Okay, overview. We are at day nine. So, guess what? The expectation is that you will publish your book on day 10, which is next. Okay, we've already learned about chat. We talked about popular topics. Okay, we used our outline. We have our target audiences dialed in. Okay, we have a hook, we have a thesis, we have main points, we have a conclusion, we've got chapter titles, we learned how to use Google Docs, we learned how to use Canva. We're going back into Canva tonight to talk about book covers. We've already learned how to publish on PayHip, and we have learned how to use Amazon. We've learned a lot over these past few days, and it has been fun. All right. So we're going to take a pause right here where it says book covers. And what I'm going to have you do is just take a look at the my paperback cover and also my ebook cover. So here's the difference. When you're producing a book for Amazon, you're going to need to have two covers. At the top, you're going to need to have the paperback cover. On the right hand side is the front cover, on the left hand side is the back cover, and then the spine. And then at the bottom, you need to have your ebook cover, which would just be the front. So you have two options. You can either design your own book cover using Amazon or using Canva, or you can hire someone to create the book cover for you. And we do that here at our at my company. We have cover designers that will design the cover for you. And what my recommendations are is that you use images, start collecting images that you have, that you own. Instead of using stock photos from the internet, because if you do that, your book is going to start looking like everybody else's book. Okay, you want your book to look different. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm actually going to go over to Amazon and I'm going to show you some examples of book covers that we designed for our clients. So I'm just going to go to Amazon.com, which is where we're going to be publishing our books. And I'm going to type in the names of a few of my clients, and we're going to talk about their book cover. You've heard the saying, don't judge a book by its cover. Well, people do it anyway, and there's really nothing you can do about it. So make sure that your cover presents your work the way you want it to. Okay. So here is a cover that we designed at my company for my client Kyoko Nakano. She wrote a book called Still I Teach: How I Survive Teaching in a Broken System. This is the front cover and this is the back cover. And I'll read the back cover description because it goes directly with the front cover. And this is what I teach in my program, is how to make the back cover match the front cover and also match the interior. So she says, have you ever felt like walking away from your classroom? Have you ever imagined yourself just grabbing your things, going out the door, and never coming back? Many teachers feel this way every day, because this job is exhausting. Then she says, you know the feeling of standing in front of the class asking for attention and it falls on deaf ears? Half the class won't stop laughing and they started poking each other with pencils, the tiniest pencils in the world. The others have zoned out with their heads down, and one student is clearly sleeping. Suddenly, a student knocks over a desk and runs out of the room. You should call for help, but you doubt anyone will answer. Welcome to the wonderful world of teaching. Today's educators do far more than teach reading, writing, and arithmetic. They are consolers, counselors, healers, referees, and judges. They are drowning. The public school system built so long ago no longer meets its participants' needs, and teachers are the ones left dealing with the fallout. Still, I Teach illuminates the struggles of modern education and how an outdated, broken system is tearing teachers apart. Miss Nakano, a veteran teacher, has endured 2 decades of teaching in the public school system. She knows firsthand what it feels like to be an exhausted teacher and keep going. Whether you're considering teaching or are already an exhausted educator needing support, Still I Teach voices the mounting issues many face in today's education system and poses a vital question on many people's minds. Where do we go from here? If you are here inside of the Zoom room, I want you to type in the chat, who do you think is the target audience for this book? Because that is the first thing that we have to think about when we're designing a cover. So, who is the target audience? And if you're watching this on the replay, then you can just send me your answer in an email. And I'll give you my email now. For those of you that are watching this on the replay, I want you to go to my website, which is payhip.com/Latasha Jimerson, and go to contact and put in your first name, last name, email, and message. Or you can just email me at ljimerson35@gmail.com. And you can email me your response to the questions that I'm asking here. Okay? So the question is, who is the target audience? That's the first thing we want to think about. Okay? So teachers and people thinking about becoming teachers, absolutely. Absolutely. This is people who don't really know anything about the system, right? People who aren't aware of what's really happening in the educational system. So it's definitely for brand new teachers who are just coming in so they know what they're signing up for. And then anyone who cares about schools, like parents, volunteers. Yeah, so you see, she nailed it, right? She's got the broken pencil, the 4 pieces of the pencil. And every teacher, I taught in the public schools for 20 years. So any teacher who's ever taught in the schools, they can identify with this, the broken pencils, because they're all over the floor. Okay? All right, so there's one. I have another client who's also in the world of education. And my first 50 clients were teachers and administrators. So the first 50 people that I helped put books on Amazon, their books have educational content. Okay. Here's another cover that we helped our client design. And the title is Premeditated Crisis Leadership, a how-to guide for school leaders by Jessica L. Alessio. All right. If you're here with me in the chat, please put who the target audience is for this book. Who is the target audience? And once again, if you're watching this on the replay, you can interact with me by typing in my email. Just send me a message. Okay, who is the target audience for this book? And keep in mind, this is what you want to think about when you are designing a cover. Okay, whether you decide to design it yourself or if you hire someone to design it, or if you sign up for my coaching program and me and my team help you design your cover, you always want to remember the target audience. Okay, and this matter of fact, this particular cover was created. I think we used Canva for this, and we also used an actual drawing. This drawing of Jessica is a drawing that her sister drew. And you see at the bottom here, there's her signature. Okay, so she actually had her sister draw this, and then we put it onto the book cover. Okay, so let's see what we have in the chat. Who's the target audience? School leaders or people interested in leading in education. There you go. It says right there, premeditated crisis leadership, a how-to guide for school leaders. You want to make it really obvious who the target audience is because it's going to help you with the marketing. Okay. All right. Here's another one of my clients. And she's also an educator. Okay. All right, so here's the title. It says The McCoy Family Escape from Poverty to Prosperity. Sumner High School, St. Louis, Missouri, 1951 to 1972. Dr. Laverne McCoy Byers. So this may not be completely obvious as to who the target audience is. Okay, so here's what I want you to give me. What category is this in? If you remember the categories that we talked about the first couple days of the challenge, what category do you think this book would fall into? Economy and finances. No. No. Let's you want to review real quick the categories? Let's go to the categories. The Amazon topics. Right here. Popular book topics. We've got wellness, self help, mental health, and personal development, memoirs and biographies, business, economics, science, technology, history, historical, social context. Okay, there's one, two, three, four, five big topics within the nonfiction world. It's two. It's memoirs and biographies, personal stories, real lives. Okay, memoirs and biographies remain, yep, exactly. There you go. Memoirs and biographies remain among the highest selling nonfiction categories, showing strong demand for real life stories and personal narratives. Okay, these personal narratives are important because people want to know, well, how did you survive that? This is a story, this is actually a photo, this is a family portrait. And there were more children. Not all the children are here, though. One, two, three, four, five. I think there were six or seven children. But Dr. Laverne McCoy Byers is in the photo, and she wrote this book as a dedication to her mom, who raised, single mom, raised children in the 1950s in the segregated South, and she escaped to the North, and she was able to get her children into a good school. So this is also a homage to Sumner High School in St. Louis, Missouri. She was able to get her kids all into this school, and the school provided the resources that they needed, and all of the children ended up going to college and becoming successful. Dr. Laverne McCoy Byers was an administrator that taught with me. She's now a retired administrator, and she's a real estate agent in California. Highly successful. All her sisters and brothers are highly successful. And she wrote this book in, I believe it was 2021, so about 4 years ago. And my company helped her design her cover and her book. She's actually on her way to getting her book put inside of the schools under the history program. So, really, really cool, really good stuff. But this is what my clients do. They take elements of their life and they put it on the cover so that nobody can duplicate this cover. Like, nobody should have her family portrait on the cover of their book. Okay. That's what sets her apart from everybody else. Okay. Here's another one of my clients. And she also, let's see, where is. Okay, she's written multiple books. I'll just pull up this one. This is actually her third book. Once she came through my coaching program and she learned how to use the system, she went ahead and produced multiple books. Okay, this one is Restoring My Heart and Soul, Poems of Pain and Passion, excuse me, by Dr. Joyce Brooks. And here's the back of the book. The first of a series of books compiled of poetry to help heal the mind, body, spirit, and soul. Finding love, peace, healing, and restoration through a journey of pain and healing. She wrote this book um, to honor the memory of her son, who's right here in the photo with her. He was murdered. Him and his girlfriend were murdered years ago. And so she wrote this book as a part of her healing process and her healing journey so that other people could find peace as well. So, what category is this? And what is the target audience here? Let's see if we know. Yeah, pretty powerful story. I can't find, let me see. She actually has, there's another book that I can't find. Charles. It's the story. Her son's name was Charles. I think it was Charles. And Shell. And his girlfriend's name was Shell. Yeah, I can't find it. When I find it, I will bring it up. Yeah, she actually has another book that she dedicated to her son. And yeah, it's pretty powerful story. Okay, let's find another one. Here's another example of one of my clients who we helped her design her cover and it came out phenomenal. All right, let's see what we have here. Yeah, the wellness and self help. Yes. Target would be anyone hurting or who knows someone who is hurting. Also, people who are compassionate. Yes. Okay. So this one's going to be a little bit more difficult to figure out the target audience, but you can definitely figure out the actual the topic. Okay, is there a back cover? All right, so we produced this book October 3rd, 2021. And the name of it is called It Just Broke, A Story of Resiliency by Dashella S. Trammell, Breaking the Silence of Trauma. This is a picture of her when she was young. And this is a period of her life where she was struggling and having a really hard time as a lost young person. Today, she's a thriving minister in the church. She is a mom and she is a survivor. She's a thriver. She's a coach, speaker, and she's been able to overcome a lot. But this book was a part of her healing process. And so let's see. Memoirs, absolutely. So people who love memoirs, they're going to pick up this book because they're like, "Oh wow, it's a story of resiliency. Someone's face is on the cover. It must be her story." Yes, and this is her photo. Um this makes her book cover unique. No one else is going to be using her that picture of her for their book cover. So this is what I teach in my program. Okay. All right. Let's see. Who has another one? All right. Now, when I connected with this author, she already had multiple books out. Let's see. Can we find her books? Oh, no, I don't see it. All right. Spell her name like this. Okay, so we'll look at, oh, check a different one. I don't know why. Sometimes you type names and they don't come up. I don't know what that's all about. Okay, here's another one of my clients, Miss Jackie Phillips. This is her book that we published in April 5th, 2021. We published her book here on Amazon. And this is the cover. It says An Upward Climb Toward Faith by Jackie Phillips. She is an educator, okay, and she's also a business owner. And her and I lived in the same community for years. She found out that I was helping people write books, and she said, "Hey, I need you to help me write a book." And I said, "Okay, let's do it." And so when it came to the cover, I said, "All right, let's get some covers done that have something to do with what you do." So she actually hired a photographer to take pictures of her climbing up this trail. There's this hiking trail in Riverside, California. It's called Mount Rubidoux. And at the top of the mountain, there's a cross. And I used to hike this mountain all the time with my family, my kids, and my spouse, and my friends. And we would go up there. It was about a mile up one way and 2 miles down. And so she took a picture, and it just came out to be a powerful message. And I'll read the back of the book for you. She says, how is your faith walk? If you want to improve it, this book is for you. An Upward Climb Toward Faith is the story of one woman's journey to reconnect with God, the God of her youth. Jackie Phillips shares details about her faith walk and faith climb. As she travels through difficult stages of life, she reveals how challenging it is to do the right thing all the time. As a young woman, she witnessed her mother demonstrate Christian faith daily. Images of her mother praying are etched into her mind like scenes in a movie. With those memories tucked away, young Jackie left home for college, thinking she could handle life on her own and forgot about God. How many of us do that? Eventually, she realized that without God, her life was empty. Travel on this walk with her. Whether you are a person of faith or not, you will walk away from this book feeling compelled to read God's word for yourself. Now, one of the things that happened to me while I was helping her edit this book is my faith walk became stronger because I was reading through her chapters and she had lots of scripture. And I was reading through her chapters and I was talking to her about it and we were sharing and almost turned into a Bible study. And this book right here really just blessed my whole soul and helped me on my own personal faith walk because I read through it. By the time I got through her entire book, I was like, wow, I was telling everybody about her book because it's transformative. You can't just read a book like this and not be changed. And so that's what her cover is demonstrating. Her faith walk. It's an upward climb. It's not easy. But when you do it, it's very rewarding and fulfilling. So that's what her cover reveals. And as you're working on your cover, I want you to remember your audience. Remember who it is that you're going to be talking to through the pages of your book with the words. Okay, here's another one of my clients, Kelvin Bell. We published this book August 22nd, 2020, and it is called Eden Centricity, an inside out journey. Strength, wealth, intimacy, acceptance, healing, joy. All right, and then here's the back. I won't read the back. You can look it up yourself and read the back. What is the target audience here? It's not completely obvious, but this is autobiographical. It is a memoir-ish book because it does talk about, it has some stories from his life. It does talk about his faith walk and his journey with God. But if just looking by the cover, if you're not familiar with Eden and you're not familiar with the Bible, then you wouldn't really know who the target audience is. But if you're someone who is attracted to these images, you look at these images and it just represents tranquility and peace and love. You just feel, if you're in that kind of environment, you just feel comfortable. You feel like that water is healing, right? Wellness. Oh, yeah, it could go under personal development, memoirs, or wellness. Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, here's another one. Let's see if we can find this one. Nope, it's not coming up. Okay, let's do this. All right, here's another one of my clients from New Orleans. She took this picture in front of a building in her hometown of New Orleans. All right, what is the target audience? The name of the book is called I Wish You Would, Letting Go of My Pain by Sandra K. Bridges. In I Wish You Would, Letting Go of My Pain, the author weaves together poetry, heartfelt prayers, and powerful affirmations to honor the resilience of women who have endured, overcome, and risen. With raw honesty and spiritual strength, this collection speaks to every woman who has battled abuse, been underestimated, worked tirelessly for her family, and still found the grace to keep going. These pages echo the voices of women who pray without ceasing, who lead with love, and who fight daily battles while nurturing others. Whether facing toxic relationships, single handedly raising children, or navigating careers in spaces where they were never meant to succeed, these women rise. The poems speak to the pain of betrayal, the ache of abandonment, and the healing that only God's mercy can bring. At its core, this book is a sacred release. This book is how I let go of my pain with God's grace and mercy. This powerful truth anchors the journey within. Through every verse and prayer, readers are reminded that healing is possible, faith is powerful, and God's love is ever present. I Wish You Would is a sanctuary for the soul, a bold emotional tribute to every woman who has cried out in the midnight hour, who praises at dawn, and who continues to rise again and again. That's my client. Super proud of her for putting her story out there. Powerful story. There you go. Memoirs, wellness, personal development. Target is women who have struggled, mothers and women in the workforce. Very powerful. Absolutely. I only work with clients who have powerful stories. Those are the folks, those are my clients. They have powerful stories. All right, here we go. Here's another book. Now, this client, Miss Adamalave, she has her book in both English and Spanish. And she's working on coming up with a workbook as well. So, here's what I'd like you to do. Take a look at the title and let me know what is the target audience and what is the topic. And I want you to translate it for me. Translate this. If it practice your Spanish. Yes, Serenity After the Storm. You got it. Got it. All right. What's the topic, category, and target audience? See if you can get it. Again, those of you that are at home, send me your answers to my email, please. This is your pop quiz. This is your test of your knowledge from this whole 10-day experience. What's the topic or category? And who's the target audience? Self help wellness, target audience is women who are hurting. Fabulous. Boom. One more, one more. Una más, una más. All right, let's see. Who do we want to bring up now? Oh, yeah, this is one of my speakers. We'll bring up her book because she had multiple books and then she hired me to help her with this one. And let's pull up the cover. Okay, you tell me what category, what topic, and who's the target audience. The Queen Method: 5 Steps to Become a Powerful Author and Speaker by Tynesha Reed. Once again, I ask my clients to make sure they put a picture of themselves on the front so that it cannot be denied. Self help and memoirs. All right. And who's the target audience here? This is totally obvious. And this is exactly how your book cover should be. It should be obvious, dedicated to authors and speakers who also people who are interested in learning. Yes. And this is for women. It's the Queen Method. If it were for men, she would have put the King Method or the Prince Method. But this is specifically for women who are her clients. Okay, those are her clients. Okay, so that is the cover. That is how you create a cover. When you create a cover, you got to make sure that you have all of the elements. Okay, all of the elements that we talked about. Your title. Here's my most popular book. It's called Your First Book Workbook, a step-by-step guide to writing, publishing, and selling your story. Okay, Latasha Jimerson. It's for authors. It's for people who are interested in writing and telling their story, specifically autobiographical and memoirs, which is my focus. Okay. I have a new book coming out for those of you all that are becoming authors. You're going to want to grab this book. It'll actually be in print in February. Okay. It'll be in print in February. It's called The Author Identity: Real Stories by Writers Who Transform Themselves into Authors. Okay. This is out. Signed physical copies will be available in February 2026. Live virtual launch party ticket is including in the price. Stay tuned for the date and for the Zoom link. Okay. So this is what I call a book bundle. So the cost of the book is $50, and that comes with a ticket to the virtual launch party. Plus, you get signed copies of the book, okay, for that price point. All right. And this is the author identity. This is a mindset book. This is for people who want to be an author, thinking about becoming an author, but been struggling to become an author for so many years because you're just having identity issues. You don't identify yourself as an author yet, and you haven't been able to quite crack the code on how to build yourself up as an author. That's what this book is for. It'll teach you mindset, how to do a mindset shift and become the person that you want to be in your mind first. Okay? All right. That is it for this evening. Thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate you. Today is day 9. Okay? The next video is going to be day 10. All right, so come back for day 10 and we are going to talk about wrapping everything up. Like, now that your book is on Amazon, now what? What are the next steps? Right? What do you do? Your book's on Amazon, you're an author, you finished the challenge. Okay, now what? All right. See you in the next video. Bye now.